Here is what I think is my favorite change and the most prominent change in blade balance. It is the change to pikes. Now, this little test will be two pikes versus two pikes. In Vanilla Rome 2, most people would know what exactly would happen. The pikes would face up against each other, and then no one would attack. They would just show each other their pikes, be in a pike measuring contest, who's got the bigger sarissa, and they wouldn't really attack each other. There's a specific variable in the mod files called knock the pike lower rate or something like that, which is at 20. I don't really know what the specific name of it is, but it's currently at 20. The mod changes this and halves it down to 10. What this entails is that pikes will be a lot more aggressive. Now you can see both me and my opponent have issued attack orders, and bam, the pikes actually go ahead and start hitting each other very easily. Now, considering they're pikes and this is Rome 2, you have to treat pikes kind of like that, that that cousin that you have. You don't really know what's wrong with him. 90% of the time he's okay. Sometimes he's just, and then one day he just takes a shit in the garden. Like, they work 90% of the time. Sometimes they don't really work, and sometimes they just need a bit of goading. My opponent will issue another attack order, hopefully soon enough, to spare me from this embarrassment. But you can see thorax pikeman versus a regular pikeman. The guys are 150, so that increases their ability to hit in one direction. Also, the fact that they're 150 means that it won't be as easy to wrap around them with sword units. And there we go. He issues just another attack order, one more, and they go ahead and start punching in. So if they don't hit the first time, just issue another attack order, and bam, they start attacking all, like, and it's like a regular combat, and they cleave through each other very quickly because pikes are of course deadly, and on top of that they have a 2 bonus versus infantry. Not to mention that there are 150 people instead of the regular 120 that are on one side. To try and further prove my point that pikes are a lot more aggressive and can be used more aggressively, next I'm going to try and use this thorax pike against this thorax hoplite, full strength thorax hoplite general. Thorax hoplite is not going to attack, it's just going to be stationary. Now what you would see a lot of the times in Rome 2 is that, and wait, you know what, let me just show this. So sometimes the pikes tend to derp out by, even if you double right click, if you issue running attack orders, sometimes they still walk. All that needs is that you need to hit the double. There's like a little button over here that makes them run instead of walk, or just hit R so that you toggle the run. And once they get close enough, they start walking, and then they put their pikes down, and then they move. And you might notice that they're moving quite a bit quicker, and that's another thing that I've changed. Make them move a bit faster and make them more aggressive, and bam. The thorax hoplites don't attack. The thorax hoplites were stationary. So in this sense, the thorax pikemen, it looks kind of weird, but they end up being a lot more aggressive. So I think that is probably my favorite change in blade balance, and one that I think automatically just opens the floodgates to a lot of factions being viable. Macedon, Seleucids, all the successor states, Sparta, Athens, even Pergamon, all of those Greek Hellenic factions that we haven't seen in any Rome 2 online battle that even tends to be semi-competitive can now be used to pretty decent degree. I've been using pike crushes, and it's been pretty viable. I mean, I'll bring this match too. I fought against Trimalchio, and you guys know how amazing a player he is with Swaby. It was pretty close. I didn't win, but it was very close when I used a 6-unit pike army with Bactria. So imagine that. And you can see they definitely push quite a bit. And if you hit so the way it works right now, pikes are really cool because if you issue a single attack order, they'll attack like how they did in the majority of this little battle here against the thorax hoplites. If you want them to be more aggressive, and you don't, and like, even if that means some of them die, you issue just another attack order. Click another attack order on the thorax hoplites, and they will just keep pushing so much that some of the men get caught in sword combat. But still, a good 80 to 90% of them will still push through, as you can see over here. They're like hyper aggressively pushing through. So there is another aspect to pikes now. If you want to sacrifice a low unit, just make it cleave through an enemy and lose a lot of its men in the process. Issue a second attack order once they get engaged with the enemy, and that's just so many. improves the depth of the game by a whole lot. You can see this thorax hoplite. You absolutely cannot engage a pike unit from the front. They will just devastate you. The pikemen against the thorax pikemen didn't do much. Of course, they're cheaper by 140 talents, a whole 140. And then the hoplites, thorax hoplites, couldn't do anything against the thorax pikemen because, of course, you can't run into a pike wall from the front. Of course, he didn't run, he didn't move, he was just stationary, and I just wanted to use this video to highlight the aggressiveness that Pikes can demonstrate in Blade Balance 2.0. Go check that mod out, guys, and I'll be issuing some tournaments. We aren't completely done yet. I'm not completely done yet with the changes to the Pikes, but I think I'm a good 80 to 90% there. The fact now, before some of you guys complain that Pikes are OP, just know that I've reduced the missile block chance of Pikes by 5%. Now I think they have only a 25% missile block chance, which makes them very vulnerable to missiles, and that also counteracts the fact that they are at 150 men. So they definitely do get slaughtered by missiles. So yeah, play Blade Balance, and yeah, just keep playing Blade Balance and enjoy yourselves. Stay tuned for more. Peace.